Have you ever wondered if some simple, everyday habits might be quietly stealing years from your life? After 70, every year, every month, every day becomes more precious. We all want as many healthy years as possible to spend with our children, our grandchildren, and our friends. Yet, some things we do or don't do after 60 can slowly chip away at our health without us even realizing. Today, as a caring friend, I want to talk with you about 8 habits that could be secretly shortening your golden years, and more importantly, how to stop them. No complicated medical talk here, just simple, heartfelt advice and a few stories of seniors like you who made positive changes. Grab a comfy seat and maybe a cup of tea, and let's gently uncover these longevity-stealing habits together. Gentle pause. By the end of this talk, you might find a few small changes that can add more life to your years, because you deserve every moment of joy and vitality. Let's get started with the first habit. Habit 1. Sitting too much, the sedentary trap. Our first habit is something many of us fall into, especially in retirement. Sitting too much and moving too little. It's cozy to relax in our favorite chair or watch TV for hours. But a sedentary lifestyle can quietly take a toll on our health. You might be surprised to hear that even doing just 15 minutes of light exercise a day could add about 3 extra years to your life. Healthline.com. On the flip side, spending most of the day seated can raise the risk of heart problems, weaker muscles, and even shorten our lifespan. Healthline.com. Our bodies were made to move gently and regularly, and every bit of movement counts. Let me tell you about Tom. Tom is 65 and retired a few years ago. He loved finally having time to relax. But relaxing soon turned into sitting nearly all day, reading the newspaper in the morning, then watching his shows, and napping in his armchair. After a year, he noticed he got winded just walking to the mailbox, and climbing stairs was harder. One afternoon, his granddaughter asked him to play catch in the yard, and Tom realized he could barely keep up. It was a wake-up call. He remembered his doctor once gently saying, "A body in motion stays in motion." So, Tom decided to make a change. He started with short walks in the morning, just to the end of the street and back. At first, it was tiring, but he kept at it. He also began standing up and stretching during TV commercial breaks. Over a few months, those small steps made a difference. Tom felt a bit stronger, slept better, and even his mood improved. He joked, "I have more energy now than when I was 60. How to break the habit? You don't need to become a marathon runner. Just find fun ways to move a little more each day. Maybe it's gentle yoga or dancing in the living room to your favorite old song. You could try walking around the house while chatting on the phone, or joining a local seniors walking group for short strolls. Remember, some movement is always better than none, and it's never too late to start. Even if you have aches or mobility issues, small movements and chair exercises can help. The key is consistency. By avoiding the sedentary trap, you'll keep your muscles strong, your blood flowing, and you'll likely feel more energetic and independent in the years ahead. Your body will thank you for every step you take. Habit 2, unhealthy eating, too much junk, not enough good stuff. The second sneaky habit is unhealthy eating, like relying on processed junk foods or neglecting proper nutrition. Now, we all enjoy a tasty treat now and then, a bit of cake at a birthday or some chips with a sandwich. That's part of life's pleasures. But if most of our meals come from boxes, cans, or fast food bags, we might be cheating ourselves out of longevity. Research shows that diets high in ultra-processed foods, think packaged snacks, instant noodles, sugary drinks, are linked to a higher risk of heart disease, cancer, and even earlier death. Health.Harvard.edu. Why? These foods often pack too much salt, unhealthy fats, and sugar, but lack the vitamins and protein our bodies need, especially as we age. Over time, a poor diet can lead to weight gain, high blood pressure, diabetes, or just a general feeling of low energy, all things that can steal years from an otherwise healthy life. Meet Nancy. Nancy, 70, found cooking for one to be a chore after her husband passed. She often skipped proper meals. Breakfast might just be a sugary pastry, and dinner was a microwave TV dinner or whatever was easiest. She figured, I'm older now. Does it really matter what I eat? But gradually, Nancy felt more tired and noticed her yearly checkup numbers, like blood sugar and cholesterol, were creeping up. Her doctor gently suggested that better nutrition could improve how she felt day to day. Nancy was hesitant. She didn't consider herself a good cook, but she started small, adding a banana or some berries with her toast in the morning and having a salad or steamed veggies with her dinner. She also switched out soda for water and herbal tea. After a few weeks, Nancy was surprised that she actually had more energy. She lost a few pounds and even mentioned, "My joints don't ache as much." Encouraged, she began cooking a simple soup once a week in freezing portions, loaded with carrots, beans, and greens. Cooking became a new hobby, and she loved sharing extra soup with her neighbor. How to break the habit. You don't need a perfect diet, but little changes can make a big difference. Try to eat more real foods, like fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, fish, chicken, beans. These foods feed your body the nutrients it craves and can help protect you from illnesses. Cut down on heavily processed foods high in sugar or salt. For example, swap out a packaged dessert for a bowl of berries and yogurt. If cooking feels difficult, consider joining a community center that has cooking classes for seniors, or try simple recipes that require just a few ingredients. Stay hydrated. 2. Sometimes we feel hungry or fatigued when we're actually just a bit dehydrated, especially in our older years. By choosing healthier foods most of the time, you're not just adding years to your life, but life to your years. You'll feel clearer, lighter, and more alive. Remember, it's never too late to nurture your body with good food. Your heart, bones, and even your brain will stay stronger longer with a nourishing diet. Habit 3. Living in isolation, loneliness. The third habit that can quietly shorten our lives after 60 is living in isolation. In other words, loneliness. Many seniors live alone, or maybe feel alone even when family is far away or busy. It might not seem like a habit, but withdrawing from others or not staying socially connected can sneak up on us. And it turns out, loneliness isn't just a sad feeling, it's a health risk. Believe it or not, chronic loneliness has been compared to smoking 15 cigarettes a day and how it affects mortality. HRExecutive.com. In fact, lacking strong social ties can increase the risk of an earlier death by as much as 26 to 29%. HHS.gov. That's huge. Being isolated can raise stress hormones, depress our immune system, and worsen health conditions. On the flip side, having even a few good friends or regular social interactions can boost our odds of living longer. Healthline.com. Simply put, we're built to connect. Our hearts and minds stay healthier when we feel we belong and are cared for. Let's talk about Jerry. Jerry is 72, and after he retired and his wife passed away, he slowly drifted into isolation. His 2 children lived in other states. At first, he enjoyed the quiet, but days would go by without talking to anyone except maybe the cashier at the grocery store. He'd watch TV to pass time. Over months, Jerry grew depressed and didn't know why. He had aches and pains that felt worse than before. One evening, a neighbor named Sam knocked on his door with some extra casserole. Sam invited Jerry to the local community center's weekly coffee social for seniors. Jerry was hesitant. He was used to his routine, but he went, and it changed his life. He met other people his age, shared stories. Turns out he and another gentleman both loved woodworking, and for the first time in a long while, he laughed out loud with others. Jerry realized how lonely he had been. He started meeting Sam for a morning walk once a week. He called his kids more often just to chat. Over time, Jerry's mood lifted, and even his doctor noticed his blood pressure improved. "I feel like I got a piece of my old self back," he said with a smile. How to break the habit. If you find yourself spending too much time alone, reach out in small ways. Staying connected can add meaning and years to your life. Call a friend or a family member just to say hello. Hearing a loved one's voice can be a great mood booster. Consider joining activities, perhaps a local senior club, a faith group, a gardening class, or even an online group for folks your age. If mobility is an issue, invite neighbors over for tea or ask family to set up a video call. Volunteering is another wonderful way to meet people and feel connected. Helping at a library, school, or charity can connect you with others and give you purpose. More on purpose later. The key is not to withdraw. Everyone feels lonely sometimes, but if it's most of the time, know that you're not alone in feeling that way. And it's okay to take steps to change it. Even making 1 or 2 new friends or scheduling a few social activities a week can significantly lift your spirits and strengthen your health. Remember, the warmth of friendship and community is not just comforting, it's actually healing. Your heart, literally, stays healthier when it's warmed by companionship. Habit 4, constant worry and stressing out. Next up is a habit that happens in our minds but affects the whole body. Constant worry and stress. It's perfectly natural to worry about our health, our finances, our family, especially as we get older and face new uncertainties. But living in a state of chronic stress or anxiety can quietly shave years off your life. High stress over time can lead to high blood pressure, heart troubles, lowered immunity, and even memory issues. Studies have found that older adults with persistent anxiety or stress had a significantly higher risk of dying early. In one study, stressed women were up to 2 times more likely to die from heart problems, and stressed men had up to a 3 times higher risk of premature death compared to their calmer peers. Healthline.com. That's startling. Worrying all the time is like revving a car engine nonstop. Eventually it wears out. We don't want that for our bodies. Consider Linda's story. Linda, 68, has always been a thoughtful person, but in recent years her worries grew. She fretted about her adult son's job stability, her own arthritis, the state of the world. You name it, she worried about it at 2 a.m. every night. She often felt a tightness in her chest, anxiety, and had trouble sleeping. Her days were filled with a background of tension. One day, Linda experienced a mild chest pain and racing heartbeat. At the hospital, doctors told her it was not a heart attack, but stress-induced palpitations. It was a scare that made Linda realize her constant worrying was hurting her, not helping anyone. So, she decided to seek some peace. She began practicing simple breathing exercises and gentle meditation each morning. At first, she felt silly sitting quietly trying to focus on her breath, but it started to help. She also took up gardening in her small backyard. Whenever anxious thoughts bubbled up, she would prune her roses or just sit outside listening to birds. These activities became her calm rituals. Over months, Linda's anxiety eased. She laughed one day, saying, "I still worry, but now I schedule it," meaning she allowed herself a short worry time, then consciously let it go. Her blood pressure came down a bit, and she felt more in control of her mind and body. How to break the habit? While we can't eliminate all stress, life will always have challenges. We can change how we respond. Try to cultivate daily relaxation habits. This could be prayer, gentle yoga, listening to soothing music, or simply sitting in the garden like Linda. Some seniors find peace in journaling, writing down worries in a notebook to release them from the mind. Staying social, as we mentioned earlier, also helps a lot. Sharing your feelings with a friend or counselor can lighten the burden. Remember, it's okay to ask for help if anxiety feels overwhelming. Talking to your doctor or therapist isn't just for young. It can benefit anyone. Another tip: focus on what you can control and try to let go of what you can't. As the saying goes, worry never robs tomorrow of its sorrow. It only saps the day of its joy. Reducing chronic stress can literally add years to your life by protecting your heart and mind. Healthline.com. So, for the sake of your health, give yourself permission to relax. You've earned peace in your golden years. Embrace it. Habit 5. Poor sleep routine, skimping on sleep. Our 5th habit is often overlooked: not getting enough good sleep. Sleep is like the nighttime repair shop for our bodies and brains. But many people over 60 struggle with sleep. Maybe you stay up late watching TV or wake up frequently or rise very early. It might feel normal to sleep less as we age, but chronic sleep deprivation can seriously affect longevity. Studies have shown that consistently sleeping less than 6 hours a night is linked to higher chances of an earlier death. TheGuardian.com. In one large study, people who got under 6 hours were 12% more likely to die prematurely than those who slept around 7 hours. TheGuardian.com. Too little sleep can contribute to memory problems, depression, and increased risk of conditions like heart disease. And interestingly, too much sleep, over 9 hours regularly, can also signal health issues and is linked to shorter lifespan. TheGuardian.com. It may mean your body is trying to fight an illness. So the sweet spot for most adults is around 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep per night. Good sleep isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for healthy aging. Meet Carol. Carol is 66 and would often say, "Oh, I'm fine on 5 hours of sleep." She'd stay up past midnight reading or watching old movies, then wake at 5 a.m. out of habit from years of working. Over time, Carol started feeling constantly tired. She nodded off in the afternoon and felt groggy, but her nighttime sleep only got worse, a pattern many know too well. When her grandson pointed out that she seemed to forget things he told her recently, Carol got worried. She read that sleep affects memory and even can impact weight and heart health. So she decided to prioritize sleep for the first time in her life. She made some small changes. No more news or stimulating TV right before bed because it made her mind race. She created a little bedtime routine, dimming the lights, drinking a warm caffeine-free chamomile tea, and listening to soft classical music. She also set a consistent bedtime and wake-up time, even on weekends. It wasn't easy at first. She'd been a night owl for years, but after a few weeks, Carol noticed she was sleeping longer and deeper. Her daytime mood improved, and she had more energy to play with her grandkids without needing a nap. "I feel sharper and happier," she said, amazed that something as simple as better sleep could make such a difference. How to break the habit. If you're skimping on sleep or your sleep schedule is all over the place, it's time to give sleep the respect it deserves. Start by making your bedroom a sleep-friendly zone. Keep it dark, quiet, and cool. Ensure your mattress and pillows are comfortable for you. Try to go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time each day. Our bodies like routine. If you have trouble falling asleep, avoid big meals, alcohol, or screen time, TV, smartphones, in the hour or two before bed. Instead, do something relaxing like Carol did. Perhaps read a gentle book or do a few slow stretches. Limit daytime naps to a short 20-minute rest, if you need one, so you'll be ready for sleep at night. And if you're lying in bed unable to drift off, don't panic. Get up, sit in a comfy chair, and do a quiet activity until you feel sleepy again. Also, talk to your doctor if pain or frequent urination or anxiety is disrupting your sleep. They might have solutions. Remember, good sleep is healing. When you consistently get enough rest, you'll likely find you have a brighter mood, better balance, and maybe even fewer doctor visits. It's one of the most soothing ways to protect your health for years to come. Habit 6. Skipping health checkups and screenings. Habit number 6 is one many of us are guilty of, skipping those doctor appointments and health screenings. It's easy to think, "Oh, I feel okay. I'll just deal with the doctor when I'm really sick." Or maybe you dread those appointments or the potential bad news. But avoiding regular checkups after 60 can silently steal years from your life by missing the chance to catch problems early. Early detection is often the key to preventing little issues from becoming big, life-threatening ones. ChinMed.com. For example, catching high blood pressure or high cholesterol early means you can manage it before it leads to a heart attack or stroke. Getting recommended cancer screenings, like colonoscopies, mammograms, etc., can find cancers when they're tiny and treatable. A simple blood sugar test can spot prediabetes and help you turn around through diet before it turns into diabetes. On the other hand, if we ignore our health and hope for the best, we might lose precious time that we can't get back. Doctors and nurses are not there to scold you. They're partners to help you stay well. Let's look at Bill's experience. Bill, 70, was a tough guy type who prided himself on never needing a doctor. He hadn't gone for an annual physical in years. If he felt a bit off, he'd say, "It'll pass." One day, Bill started experiencing frequent, severe heartburn. He just took antacids and carried on, not wanting to bother with a doctor. Months went by, and the heartburn got worse. Sometimes he'd even feel pain swallowing. Finally, his daughter convinced him to get it checked. It turned out Bill had some serious inflammation in his esophagus that could have been caught and treated much earlier. Thankfully, Treatment helped and he's okay now, but the doctor told him that coming in sooner would have made things easier. This was a lesson for Bill. Now, he goes for his yearly wellness exam. At his last visit, they found his blood pressure was high, a silent issue he had no idea about, and he's now managing it with a mild medication and diet changes. Bill joked, "I thought I was saving time by skipping the doctor. Turns out I might have been cutting time off my life." He's grateful he started taking checkups seriously. How to break the habit. Make a plan to stay on top of your health. If it's been a while, schedule a checkup with your primary care doctor. They can do a general review, blood pressure, blood tests, etc. to see how you're doing. Follow guidelines for screenings. Typically, things like colon cancer screening, often up to age 75, breast cancer or prostate checks, and others as recommended. Don't forget hearing and vision checks too. Quality of life is part of longevity. If you have medications, keep taking those prescribed and review them with your doctor annually. It's understandable to feel anxious about doctor visits, but remember that knowledge is power. Catching a problem early can mean a simple fix now versus a serious issue later. Also, being consistent with dental checkups is important. Gum health is linked to heart health. Many communities have healthcare programs specifically for seniors, making it easier and affordable to get these services. Lastly, be honest with your doctor. If you feel down or notice any new symptom, mention it. There's often something that can be done. Taking care of those checkups and screenings is like giving a gift to your future self. The gift of more healthy years. As the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In terms of years of life, those preventive steps are truly worth it. Habit 7. Losing purpose, feeling useless or inactive in retirement. The 7th habit is more of a mindset that can creep in after 60, losing your sense of purpose or feel like you have nothing to live for each day. Retirement or getting older can sometimes make people feel like they aren't needed as much, or they might drift without the routine of job or raising kids. This can lead to depression, boredom, and even affect your physical health. Humans aren't meant to just sit idle. We thrive when we have purpose, a reason to get up in the morning. Studies actually show that seniors with a strong sense of purpose tend to live longer. In one large study of people over 50, those with the highest sense of purpose were 15% less likely to die over the follow-up period than those who felt least purposeful. MedicalNewsToday.com. That sense of meaning acts like a shield, helping people handle stress better and stay engaged in taking care of themselves. If we let go of all hobbies, passions, or goals and just say, "I'm too old for that," we might inadvertently shorten our lives. Let me share Mary's story. Mary, 67, was a school teacher for 40 years. When she retired, she was excited at first. No alarm clock, no papers to grade. But after a few months, the novelty wore off. She found herself listlessly doing crossword puzzles and watching daytime TV. She said to her husband one day, "I just feel useless." Her kids were grown and busy. She wasn't sure what her role was anymore. Mary's health started to decline too. She had less energy and felt blue most days. One afternoon, she met her old friend Jean for coffee. Jean mentioned a local community center was looking for volunteers to help children with reading after school. Jean said, "Mary, you'd be perfect for that, with your teaching background." Mary was hesitant. It had been a while since she'd been in a classroom, but she decided to give it a try. A couple of days a week, Mary started tutoring 8-year-olds in reading. She found herself coming home, smiling again. The kids lit up when they made progress, and Mary felt that spark of purpose reignite. She also took up a new hobby, painting, something she'd always wanted to try. Every morning, she now had plans, tutoring on Mondays and Wednesdays, painting class on Fridays, and she even started a little garden. Mary's husband joked that she was busier in retirement than ever. More importantly, Mary's whole demeanor changed. She was happier, more active, and her doctor noticed improvements in her blood pressure and overall fitness. Mary will tell you, the key to feeling young is to keep looking forward to something. How to break the habit. If you felt lost or purposeless, it's time to find a new spark that gives your days meaning. Purpose can be big or small. It might be caring for a pet, maintaining a garden, being the one who makes Sunday dinner for family, or engaging in a hobby that excites you. Think about what you love or what you used to love doing. Can you rekindle that? Maybe you always love music. Could you join a seniors choir or simply commit to listening to a new song each day and sharing your thoughts with someone? If you miss your career, consider mentoring someone younger in that field or volunteering like Mary did in a related area. Communities often have volunteer opportunities. Hospitals, libraries, schools, charities that highly value the wisdom and patience of older adults. Hobbies are golden. Try painting, knitting, writing your memoirs, learning a new language, or playing an instrument. It's not about success or perfection. It's about enjoyment and engagement. Another aspect of purpose is social roles. Maybe become the organizer of a weekly card game or start a little walking group. Setting even small goals like, I will walk 20 minutes every morning and greet at least one neighbor, can create a sense of accomplishment. Remember, your life experience is a treasure. Sharing it or using it in new ways can not only help others, but also give you a daily sense of fulfillment. When you have a reason to look forward to tomorrow, it can literally help you live longer and certainly makes life richer. Don't ever think it's too late to find purpose. As long as you're here, you have a purpose. Sometimes it just takes a bit of exploring to find out what it is for this stage of life. Habit 8. Unhealthy vices. Smoking and excessive drinking. Our final habit is about those classic unhealthy vices. Smoking cigarettes and drinking too much alcohol. You might think, well, I'm already in my 60s or 70s, the damage is done. Or maybe, why quit now? The horse has left the barn. But these habits can still secretly steal years from you, and quitting or reducing them, even now, can add years back to your life. Smoking, in particular, is extremely hard on the body at any age. It's linked to almost every major cause of death: heart disease, stroke, cancer, lung diseases. On average, smokers lose about 10 years of life compared to non-smokers. Healthline.com. The good news? The moment you stop smoking, your body begins to heal, no matter your age. In fact, quitting smoking in your 60s can add around 3 extra years to your life, statistically speaking. Healthline.com. Even people who quit in their 80s see benefits. Healthline.com. It's never too late. Now, alcohol. While a little wine or beer in moderation might be okay for some and can be enjoyable socially, heavy drinking is a stealthy threat. Too much alcohol increases the risk of liver problems, heart issues, falls, and can worsen blood pressure. It's also linked with an increased risk of early death. Healthline.com. Sometimes, as people retire, having a few drinks can become a daily habit out of boredom or routine. But our bodies become less tolerant to alcohol as we age, and what was moderate in your 40s might hit harder in your 70s. Excess alcohol can also interfere with medications and sleep quality. Consider Frank's journey. Frank, 66, had been smoking since his 20s. He used to joke that cigarettes were his one last pleasure. His doctor had been urging him to quit for years, but Frank thought, I'm too old to quit. What's the point now? Then one day, his best friend, also a smoker, was diagnosed with lung cancer. It was a shock. Frank visited him during treatment and saw how difficult it was. His friend told him with regret, I wish I had quit years ago. That struck Frank deeply. He decided then and there to try quitting for himself, and so he could see his grandkids grow up. It wasn't easy. Frank tried nicotine patches and chewing gum, and there were a few slip-ups, but after several months, he finally quit smoking entirely. A year later, he noticed he could walk farther without getting out of breath, and that food even tasted better. He said, I only wish I'd done it sooner, but I'm grateful I did it now. And let's talk about Susan. Susan, 62, wasn't a smoker, but after retirement, she got into a habit of drinking 2 to 3 glasses of wine every night to unwind. It seemed harmless. After all, wine is common with dinner. But she began noticing she slept poorly on those nights and felt groggy in the mornings. Her daughter mentioned that Susan often sounded a bit confused in late evenings on the phone. Susan read up and learned that for seniors, even the same amount of alcohol can have a stronger effect than it did when we were younger due to metabolism changes. She decided to cut back, limiting herself to 1 small glass of wine, and not every night. Within weeks, Susan's sleep improved and she had more energy. She still enjoys a glass occasionally, but she's mindful now, drinking slowly and with water in between. She joked, "Turns out I can relax just as well with a cup of herbal tea." Who knew? How to break the habit. For smoking. If you smoke, know that quitting now will absolutely benefit your health. It's never too late. Talk to your doctor about help. There are quit smoking programs, nicotine replacement therapies, and even new medications that can reduce cravings. Some people find success with support groups or helplines. Think about your reasons to quit: to breathe easier, to live to see a family milestone, to save money, etc. And keep those reasons close. Every cigarette you don't smoke is a victory for your health. For alcohol, if you enjoy a drink, practice moderation. Generally, for people over 60, moderation might mean no more than 1 drink per day, and not every day, and even less if you have certain health conditions or medications. Always good to ask your doctor. Be aware of portion sizes. A standard drink is smaller than many people think. 5 ounces of wine or 12 ounces of beer. Try replacing that evening drink with a non-alcoholic alternative some nights. Maybe a sparkling water with a twist of lime, or a non-alcoholic beer or wine if that helps. If alcohol has become a way to cope with stress or boredom, consider the earlier tips. Find other relaxing activities or social interactions that don't revolve around drinking. And if you feel you might be relying too much on alcohol, it's absolutely okay to seek support from a healthcare provider or counselor. It can make a world of difference. Remember, by cutting back on smoking and heavy drinking, you're not giving up enjoyment. You're gaining years and better health. Imagine having clearer lungs, a stronger heart, and waking up with a clear mind each day. Those changes can add not just years to your life, but better quality to those years. You deserve to feel as well as possible, and these habits are one of the biggest gifts of health you can give yourself. We've journeyed through 8 common habits that can quietly steal time from us in our later years. If you recognize yourself in one or a few of these, don't feel bad. You're certainly not alone, and it's never too late to make a change. The beautiful truth is that our bodies and minds can heal and improve at any age. Even small steps, a short walk, an extra glass of water, a phone call to a friend, a few more hours of sleep, can make a meaningful difference in how long and how well we live. After all, it's not just about adding years to life, but adding life to your years. Think about this. Which of these habits struck a chord with you? Maybe tonight you'll take a moment to reflect. If there's one habit you'd like to work on, know that I'm cheering you on. Change doesn't happen overnight, but little by little, you can steer your ship to calmer, healthier waters. Remember Tom, Nancy, Jerry, Linda, Carol, Bill, Mary, and Frank. They're proof that change is possible at any stage. You have wisdom, strength, and the ability to create positive change in your life. I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. Did any of these habits or stories feel familiar? Have you made a change in your life after 60 that others could learn from? Your experience could inspire someone else in our community. Let's support each other. We're all in this journey of aging gracefully together. If you found this video helpful or heartwarming, please give a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more gentle health and wellness conversations. Share this video with a friend or loved one who might need a friendly nudge or some encouragement. Sometimes the best gift is the gift of a longer, healthier life. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope you feel empowered to make the rest of your life as healthy and joyful as possible. Remember, each day is a gift. Take good care of yourself. Stay happy, stay connected, and I'll see you in the next video.